Does anybody have any questions that they're coming with right now? No? Go ahead, Mary Jo.
Yeah, just a silly one. So, maybe you could go to my page and I can show you what I'm talking about.
For sure.
It has to do with the font, changing font. Oh, so go back up, I'm sorry. And where it says your elected officials on the left there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so I don't know, I put, see how these are in or they're in, I don't know what that is.
Like a serif font.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know. Anyway, how would if I wanted to change you can see what I just added. I added final remedial state house plan. And I, wanted to
match the rest.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's an easy way to do it. If there isn't, I don't care.
There should be an easy way. I'm going to see if I'm not logged in. There we go. Let me go ahead and masquerade as well.
There is an easy way, Mary Jo.
Okay.
Oh, I do see someone else.
Jennifer worked on this page too.
Yeah, Mike came.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, it should just simply be adding what's called the special formatting.
Oh, okay.
Let's make sure. Yeah, so it's under styles here. When we click over to one of these others, you can see that you've set it to special.
Oh, okay.
So just the same thing, make sure you highlight what you want to format, and we'll do the same thing.
And so I'm thinking that the original, like Michigan House of Representatives, I'm thinking that maybe I got that off the webpage, but I don't remember.
And it probably was already formatted that way.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Can you just go over there and make it smaller? Would that be a heading less? I don't know what heading
It
is.
should be, there we go.
Oh, okay. What matches?
Because this is heading 4. Let's see. Yeah, it would match. I'm not sure what the difference is as far as it looking visually different.
Okay, so special will always be that, where did you call it, serif?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
And heading 4.
What?
And heading 4.
Oh, heading 4, yeah, okay.
I'm going to save it and see
side.
what it looks like. It does look like it's bigger than the others. I'll save it as draft so that we can test it. Yeah, it is larger.
Oh, I bet you something is making it larger beforehand.
Ooh.
It could
Like
be
HTML. Yeah, HTML.
But
yeah, it does look
I bet you there's something after the click here on the remedial house plan.
There are some divs in here, and so I wonder if that has anything to do with it. I think to try and make it match, I'm going to put my little placeholder words, Dino. Let's see if I can add some divs in there and see if that makes a difference. So I am just adding like the HTML tags that we see throughout. So right before and then right after. And see if that makes any difference. I think I should be okay to enable rich text. No, that is not going to be the solution there.
Well, I can just take it out and put it in again. I'm not worried about it. Oh,
there we go.
There you go.
So starting from scratch with it, I guess if I would have just, instead of done the div HTML tags, if I would have just scrapped it and started fresh, I added the heading style first, then I added the special, and then I bolded and italicized. I don't know if that has anything, you know, as far as the order of steps I took has anything to do with it. But let's
Okay.
go ahead and publish since it's all looking like it's matching now. There we go.
Ah, merci beaucoup.
No problem. Awesome. Any other questions? And I can also go over, there's one fresh on my mind because I just talked with the Reading area webmaster. Let's see if I can stop masquerading here. Okay. So
I'm looking for my issue that I sent you a couple weeks ago. I haven't got an update on it.
yeah, there
Okay.
isn't an update yet on the calendar time issue. I think it was like certain
Yes.
events were when you were saving them, they were showing up kind of all over the place. It's currently being worked on, but I don't have any progress update for you yet on that.
I guess for everybody on the call, I entered an event with start and stop dates or times. And then I tried to download it to my Google Calendar. And what is it? 2 out of the 3 times it put in Pacific times instead of Eastern, which I'm at. And the third time it put it in Eastern. So not quite sure what's going on, but it's pulling obviously Pacific time at least some of the time.
Yeah, I think it may have something to do with the way our site uses time zones. But again, I don't have a definitive solution, or at least like a definitive like this is what it is and they're on the attack. But they are working on it to, you know, investigate it.
In the old days, I would say it was pulling your time off your server that it's hosted off of, and it's not picking up the time that my session of where I am. But I don't know if they do it that way anymore.
Sounds familiar as to part of the explanation that they gave, but again, I don't have an update just yet.
I guess you can't get the coder out of me eventually, right?
I can relate to that. It
Okay.
might be something on the Google side too, right?
Right.
It could
It's
be.
a little up in the air right now. But at least with our team on it, they're investigating what it could be on our end, which is very likely to. Did anybody have questions? Wanted to just quickly go over the question that I got recently. They were specifically asking how to get folks to their, you know, donate page to pay their annual dues. So they weren't really creating a new page or creating a new payment button, but they wanted to give context to folks to use what's existing for, you know, this specific reason. So we've talked about anchor links before, and that was my recommended solution for them. My donate page here, for example, is a little more complicated than theirs was in the example. But we'll still play around with this page here. So we're going to pretend as if my donate page does not include the form below. And we'll pretend like this is a payment button. I obviously don't have the embed code here. But what I did, okay, annual meeting. So this would be, whoops, instructions on how to pay. That's what we assume is there. And so I created or recommended that they create a separate section on their same donate page, but we make use of the anchors. So I have my cursor, I had placed my cursor at the start of the heading, and I'll name it. I already have it here, annual dash meeting. Remember, you can't use any spaces. And I like to copy that since I'll be reusing it. And we insert. So let's go ahead and save that. With anchors, we have 2 steps. I mean, you can always just drop an anchor and it be there, but usually want to make use of it. So we need to create the link to reach this anchor. From there, that's when before I start to create the menu link, I want to build the actual anchor link or URL that is going to get us to that particular spot. So I start off with the anchor name. So I'm kind of starting backwards, building the URL. So you would append the anchor name to the end of a page's URL and have the hashtag or the #. That's kind of the signal for the anchor. And then what would precede that is the URL of the page. Wherever that anchor resides, the URL going before it means that you can place this URL anywhere. It doesn't have to be on this same donate page. It could even be outside of MyLO, and it will make folks reach exactly to this specific spot. So let's go through and let's add to our menu. So we go through Administrator League menu and Manage menu. And after this, I'll show you the actual real life example so that you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So I go to Add Link. Since all I'm doing is essentially attaching this URL, we'll name this Pay Annual Meeting. And this is where we plug in that path and make sure you have your anchor attached to the end of it. And then since this was essentially related to the donate page, I chose that as the parent link. And that was that. The last step I did take was to make the donate link show as expanded so that folks would not need to click through to donate. They would just be able to see it, you know, open and available. Let me go ahead and show you. So, okay, they have their donate page. And like I said, these links essentially lead to the same page, but they lead to different sections. So I'll click on Pay Annual Meeting. And we're taken directly here. And the reason it takes us quite further down is because the sidebar is a bit longer. But that is exactly what we wanted to get to. And it has the instruction for them to use the donate button above. Same thing if we were coming through directly to the donate page, you still technically are getting to the same page, but it's harder to see the annual meeting information off of the initial page load from here.
Maurice,
Yes.
do you think it would be good practice if you have, you know, sub menus to also have one that goes to the main part? Because I find sometimes people get confused because they think that's a list of everything on the page and they don't see donate under there.
Oh, I see. I mean, it's not,
They don't always know to click on the heading.
yeah, you can totally do that. And you wouldn't have to create a second page. It's just creating another menu link. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is totally an option. I don't think we have a clone option, but yeah, all you would have to do is, you know, right click, copy the link address, and then you could add link, and then choose whatever donate or whatever it is as the parent so that it does sit directly under that one. Yeah. Let me go ahead and pop back over to my demo site. Yeah, so anchor links can be used throughout your site, outside of your site, as long as you're building the URL properly.
Can you stay on this page?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted, so did you just go quickly through a way to I don't know, a substitute for doing a page or something? I mean, what
It was technically,
the add link, what is that? I don't
yeah,
use
add
that.
link is to be able to add a menu link. So let's
So,
say,
you mean like a new menu option, new menu heading?
yes, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it could be one of these starred items, or if you wanted it to be underneath one of the existing ones, then you could select that too.
so if we wanted to have one just annual meeting, okay.
Mhm.
And that would have, and so that creates a page?
It does not create the page, it only creates the menu link. So let's say you're starting from add link. The menu link title and the path are necessary. So I think, let's see, I'm just gonna go with that. I think if we tried to proceed without filling in the path, it will stop me. Let's see. And
Well,
if
it does say add link.
okay, yeah. What I'll see sometimes is that folks will follow this instruct, but this is leading to the MyLO front page because there isn't a way for the system to identify which front page out of all of them. So we just have one standard. If you are looking to add a menu link, but you need to add a new page as well, I would not recommend this method. I would instead, let's go through the home page. I would instead recommend adding the page first. So
Yeah,
the
I
other
just
way,
thought maybe that was some sort of shortcut or something.
um, it depends on the link. If it's an external link, then that would be the best way to do it, going through manage menu to add a link. But if you're working with an internal link, like a new page or an existing one, let's see, I'm just gonna make something simple here. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go through and add this page. So when we're first creating a page, the options or settings here only include publishing options, authoring info, and meta tags. You'll notice that after I save this and we come back to edit it, there'll be menu settings added here. And the reason for that, it not being the menu settings not being there initially, the system does not know yet which league the content belongs to. So it's not until you save that the system says, okay, now I know. So we go back to edit. And I'm going to jump down to the bottom once the page loads. Now we have menu settings. And so same kind of idea that we saw on the add link page, you get to choose the parent. If you leave demo MyLO site as the parent, then that means this new page menu link will be a starred item. It'll be a main menu item. And then if you ever choose an item that's disabled as the parent, then the item that you're adding under that disabled item will also not be visible. But let's test this out. Let's just leave it as a main menu item. I'll go ahead and publish it so we can save. Where did it go? New page. There we go. And then to take it off of the menu, you can either do it now through the same method that we did through the new draft, or you can go through manage menu and disable the link there. Actually, let's go through that. So manage menu. And it's just a tick of the box there. And we save.
Oh, now what's the difference between doing that and deleting?
This allows you to bring it back.
Okay,
Yeah. So it's very similar to when you like unpublish a page and you kind of have it in the background as a draft.
okay.
Oh, and then I don't know if this was something we had discussed before. It was quite a few months ago that I had noticed Facebook feeds were sometimes working, sometimes not. They would have like the little loading wheel, and just kind of be stuck like that. I've began noticing that they are working once again. And so if your site didn't have one and you're ready to bring that back, we can go over that. Let me see.
So this is if your league has a Facebook page, you can automatically import postings from Facebook to the website.
Yeah, even if your league doesn't have one, I've seen leagues use the National League's Facebook
Hmm.
account to present a page plugin, like they call it. All you need is, well, if you have this link from here, all you need is the Facebook URL of the page. So I think Nationals is just LWBUS, but I probably should just actually Google it. Okay, no, it's not.
Can you go back? I didn't see where you came from.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, let me go ahead and start that over. So I'm going to keep the National League's Facebook over on the side there. So I actually started by Googling. It's one of our documentations. So if you don't want to look through the documentation page, you could just Google MyLO social media widget. And the item is called Social Media Widgets, Facebook and Twitter Timelines. From there, I open that up and we have instructions on Facebook and Twitter. I think that it should still be the same. Let's see, did I have a Twitter feed? We can do that next. I haven't messed around with that one since it has converted to X. So I'm not sure if the instructions are still valid. But for Facebook, I went ahead and opened up the Facebook developers page plugin. And then here we are to fill out the form. So let's copy whichever Facebook page URL that you want to plug in here. Just remember, it should always be beginning with facebook.com or www.facebook.com. We plug that in. And once we click around, we should see a preview. Whoops. I guess I spoke too soon. This was the little loading wheel that I had seen everywhere. But why am I seeing? Oh, no, this is Facebook, right? Yeah, this is a Facebook feed here. I wonder if it has to do with the Facebook page that you're using. Let's see if I can try our CA Votes one, since that is actually working for my demo site there. No. Okay, we're just gonna at least go through the steps and see if maybe once we embed it, that makes a difference. I'm bummed that it is not resolved, at least from what it looks like. But the steps that you would take, assuming that this was all working correctly, I plugged in the Facebook URL. You have the ability to choose like the different tabs, or right now we have the timeline option where it should be showing post after post. Let's see, there is some explanation down here that tells us sorry, I'm trying to see where else. There we go. Timeline, events, or messages. So you can have your events show up if you use Facebook in that way to post your league's events. That would be a way to show them in a similar fashion where you would see event after event. And then the messages tab, it would allow folks to message you through wherever you embed it. And then it would be a message through Facebook. But it does require people to be logged in. But we'll go with the timeline option. The width will just adapt to the width of the container on MyLO, which will be our sidebar. I do like to specify a height because sometimes they can go long. Hoping that it loads properly. I'll say about 500. Actually, that might be a little long. Let's say 300. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get code. No, is it not going to work? Okay, there we go. So again, fingers crossed that it actually loads something properly. But we get two parts here. We do want to go with the JavaScript SDK because it is going to be more dynamic. I think I've tried the iframe before and it does not come up properly. So what I do with step 1, it tells you ideally right after the opening body tag. So what I usually just do is the body with embed code section. So let me come back to my home page. We'll make a new draft. So it's technically wants me to put it somewhere here. I could do that, but that would mean I'd have to rearrange a lot of stuff there. I am just going to add a third-party embed code, or you could just use an existing one and switch it to HTML. Whoops, is it gonna add that for me? Let me refresh my page there. Oh, it is not responding. Okay, I'll go ahead and use the existing one. But I am making a note. Whoops.
Thanks for duplicating this. I always thought response time was my problem.
No, yeah, I think it is acting a little funky, the body with embed code section. I'm going to save it and come back in. That might actually make a bit of a difference there. Okay, body with embed code. There we go. So it did respond after the save. Okay, so paste in that first bit, and that's just part 1. Let's come back. Now, step 2 is where you want it to show up. So that will be our sidebar. Whoops, wrong page. So come down to my sidebar. And I am just going to push it here next to or above the CA votes feed. And go ahead, Maddie.
No, so the stuff that goes in the sidebar, you add the data in the main part and then you just identify it in the sidebar code?
Well, the first bit is I'm not exactly sure the difference, but it is what includes the JavaScript. And then the second step is going to represent where it will show up. So if you place it in the body with embed code section as well, then it'll just show up at the bottom of your body section. But I'm placing the second step in our sidebar. So that's where it will show up. So yeah, it is a 2-part process. If you were wanting it to be, let's say on a specific page, not just your sidebar, if you wanted it to be like on your join page, then that step 1 would not go on your home page, but it would go in the body with embed code of your join page. And then wherever you want that button or that feed to show up, then the second step would be there. And that might be in the same area that the first step is in this example of the join page. Sorry if I confused you more with that example. But let's go ahead and save it. I don't know if that will help. But we did put in both steps. We have this as the second part. So let's see if it does load up properly above the CA votes feed.
So those were two different boxes though that we put code into, right?
Yes. Yeah. The first one was technically the body section. And then the second one was down in the sidebar. Yeah, so it is not coming up properly here. But the CA votes one is working. Now it looks a little bit different. I'll have to play around with this Facebook feed a bit more because, like I said, I remembered it pretty much almost every feed that I would see was the little spinning wheel. And so to see that it was working at least before I messed with it here. Yeah, this is the HTML that I had, or this essentially step one that I had for the existing feed, and it looks almost identical except for, you know, that little code. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but I'm going to just get rid of, actually I can revert.
So that first one also has something in the sidebar saying that it goes there, right?
Correct. Yeah. So for what was existing, this was the first step. And then we go down to the sidebar. And this was the second step for it.
Okay, so now we have two sidebar things in this, for this
Right.
page.
For this one. Yeah. And I'm actually going to go, instead of saving a new draft of me deleting all that, I'm just going to go to the moderate tab and revert. That should, there we go. I think that did take care of that. See if it loads again. It does. Yeah. I'll look into it. That is a mystery. And if most folks weren't even aware of it being an issue, then probably even better.
I don't know how many of us are using it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice to know that it's an option.
Right. And if the events or, you know, the messages embed would work for you too, that's, I think those aren't having the same issue that the timeline has. And then since we went over Facebook, let's check out Twitter or X to see if this is still, it looks like it's still
Can I ask a
valid.
question first? Can I ask
for
a
sure.
first? Yeah.
For sure.
So I went on my phone
Mhm.
and I wanted to see, you know, what would happen if I clicked Facebook on our website and I'm being asked to log in.
Facebook, that is a Facebook thing. So unfortunately, I don't think that there's much that we can do to get around that because Facebook, to a point, may let you like look at a page, but once you want to start traveling around, Facebook will prompt you, well, you log in. Like, and I just think that's just the nature of how
Well,
Facebook works.
Okay, so I'm talking about our own website to click Facebook on the bottom to get to our league's Facebook. So this is something new?
Is it trying to open the app or is it taking you to facebook.com?
Well, I can't really, facebook.com.
Yeah, it's Facebook. I don't know if there's a way to get around that. Let me see if I can. check it
Could-
out without being logged in.
Could that be part of the problem why you get the little circle that keeps going because
I
you're not
am logged in.
to
So
Facebook?
yeah, I'm logged in right now. You can see.
Because I'm
Uh,
logged into Facebook and I got it also. So
Yeah, and I've tried that before. I haven't tried it recently to, log in, log out and test it. Before I would always just get the spinning wheel, but I'm gonna see about what Mary Jo has brought up. I'm logging out. I'm gonna go ahead and visit. Whoops. Yeah. So it's asking me as well.
But isn't that because it's taking you to the Facebook site?
Yes.
Where if
And
you put the feed on our website, you wouldn't have to sign in.
technically, yeah, you may not see the same like images if you're not logged in. I think it should be the same as far as the feed, but this prompting comes from Facebook, whether it's the
Yeah.
app or facebook.com. We can't unfortunately get around it. I mean, it does at least allow us to click X and X out of it. But I think if you try to travel around, oh, you can still open pictures. But yeah, it is kind of annoying to have that as the first kind of welcome to Facebook.
Okay, I'm perplexed. Okay, so I did log in. I do have a Facebook thing, even though I don't use it very much. And I got into my own Facebook page.
yeah,
I don't want that. I want the league's Facebook page. This is completely new to me. And nobody said anything.
As well, it is a different process, it seems like, from the phone.
Oh,
I'm going to test it out here.
okay. All right.
So it's the
Let me
same,
change the view.
the same that I just got. It's going to be hard for me to try and show you guys my screen. Let me remove my background here. Oh, I haven't done that in a while. Blur and unblur. Okay.
Okay, it works fine on my computer.
Ooh, it's a little hard. Sorry. So it's very hard to see exactly what that box is, but exactly what we saw right now when I came here and there was a box for me to log in and there was an X there, that's exactly the same as going through the phone. So you can choose to log in, create no account, or you can click the little X in the corner.
Okay,
But
wait a
you
minute.
probably don't have that option anymore because you logged in.
Okay, I apologize. I was trying to get back on to see what you were doing. So somehow you got to our league. I'm sorry. How did
Just
you
by
went to our
clicking on it.
page?
So this is
Is that
let's see if it
because you
comes
were
up
already
again.
logged in to
No.
Facebook?
I am logged out. So
All
this is
right.
what I get.
Okay.
See more on Facebook. And this is the same kind of, well, similar idea of what I got for, whoops. When I did the same thing on my phone, I clicked the little Facebook, button on your website, and then I get taken to facebook.com and see something similar to this where it
And then
asks
what
me
did you
to,
do? What did you do?
I clicked the X.
The X. All right.
So instead of logging in or instead of creating a new account, I just clicked the X, and that's the same for the phone or on desktop.
Okay, I'm gonna try right now. Facebook.
Yes, it works.
Well, now this time I got right in.
Well, because you're logged in now.
'Cause I'm
You
logged
logged
in.
in last time.
Okay, I'll have to play with that again. Thank you, boy, thank you.
yeah.
Geez.
Yeah, the fact that once you log in, it takes you to your page is quite annoying because it does the same thing to me as well.
So
Oh,
the
no.
other thing, yeah, I'm sorry.
It did actually load your page on desktop. So it seems like that's just on mobile. If you log in, then on mobile, it may take you to your own page rather than where you want to go, being your league page.
Yeah, I'll play with it after later. But the other thing was, okay, excuse my ignorance. So you were talking about I thought at first you were talking about posting a specific post from Facebook, say from national, but were you talking about getting an actual feed of the whole Facebook page?
Yes, I was talking about
Okay.
the feed of the Facebook page, the timeline.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's too complicated, but I do notice on a lot of pages, websites that people do have that on the left there. I find it kind of actually a little annoying myself personally, but okay, but that's what you're talking about if we
Mhm.
wanted to do that. Okay, thank you.
And there is the ability to post just a singular Facebook post if you did want to. I think that, let's see, if you poke around the developer's Facebook page, yeah, embedded posts, embedded videos. There's a bunch of different social public plugins that they offer.
And you got to that by going to, you just Googled the MyLO social media widget?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
If you were starting out from the
Oh, there it is.
documentation
Okay.
page,
Yeah, okay,
I would just search social media here too, if this
yeah,
is the way
okay,
you were
thank
starting.
you, thank
Mhm.
you.
Okay, so let's jump on over to the Twitter publish and see what this gets us. It should be similar, where it's the timeline. So same thing, I would recommend looking up the Twitter account that you want to embed because we need the URL. And again, it would start something with twitter.com and end with whatever the username is. So coming back over here, it asks you, what would you like to embed? We just need to enter in the URL and it should be able to identify it as the timeline. So it gives us the option. I'm not sure what X buttons are. I guess it's a post button. That doesn't seem like you'd want that on your public facing site. So we're going with the timeline. And then from here, we can customize. Like I said, with the Facebook timeline, the width will, although it looks quite large now, it looks quite wide, the width should be set by the container in which we're going to put it in, which would be our sidebar content section. But what I also like to do, or what I like to at least specify is the height, because if we go down, this goes for quite a while. And I don't know what the default length is, but that's just too long. So I think it will show you as you type it in. Yeah. Oops. There we go. So that's what about 500 pixels seems to be the length of a post. I think as it shrinks to the width of our sidebar content, that could mean that 500 will encapsulate more than one post. I'm going to leave it at 500. You have the option to switch between light and dark for the look, and it's automatically in English. So let's update that since we added customizations, and then we can copy the code. Where am I at? I'm on the home page. Okay, so same thing that we did before. The only thing is we just have one set of HTML to embed. So we can skip the body with embed code section, and we just go straight to the sidebar. I'm just going to cheat and add it to the top here. All right, so we have that in. Let's go ahead and publish since it's in the sidebar. This will let us see it straight away. Switch you guys to the other side. No, why aren't you? There we go. It took a second to communicate with Twitter there. All right, so 500 pixels is still about one post. But I think that that's, kind of nice to not have it be too long and not show too much all at once. And so you can use any existing Twitter or X page as long as you have their URL.
I don't remember seeing that graphic for Earth Day because I was looking around.
It technically isn't an official league
Well, that's true.
graphic.
Well, it's got a league at the bottom.
Yeah, that was one that we actually created.
Oh, I can't see it. I just see LD. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, those are two nice things to have. Well, once I give you guys a bit more and I find out a bit more about Facebook, then it'll be two. But definitely the Twitter or X timeline is a nice one. Any questions?
So this is the California's Twitter account, because like we don't do Twitter.
No.
And nobody wants to take that responsibility. But if you guys are posting on that on a regular basis, we might want to feature that on our website.
Yeah, I will say we do try to, like any like legislative updates are usually reserved for Twitter. And then sometimes like how you see the Earth Day post, sometimes those kinds of non-legislative kind of more holiday things do end up on Twitter every now and then. So yeah, I would say it's always there for your retweeting pleasure. If you know you try and persuade someone to get onto Twitter in that way, then it'll be a lot easier.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. This may be a no, but do any of you here use Threads? The like offspring of X? No.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, we jumped on it, but then kind of have not posted since. I feel like what we do on Twitter is probably what they're trying to have folks do on Threads. But yeah, the less you have to manage is probably the best.
I just for the heck of it, we used to have somebody that did Twitter, and actually we should probably take it off our website because right now I just clicked it just for the heck of it on my phone,
Hmm.
and it's asking me to sign in. to
Yeah,
X.
that is just going to be the nature of these social media apps or websites. They want to either have you logged in so they can have better tracking, or they want you to create a new account so that you can be another person using their thing. It makes sense from their standpoint because it's marketing for them, but yeah, a little bit of a
So if we wanted to get it off, and I'm not saying I'm going to do it unilaterally, but if we wanted to get it off our website, obviously since some sort of settings.
yeah. Let me go ahead and go over that. We'll pretend that my timeline is like your image, because I think you have an icon
We have at the bottom of the page.
and here as well, right? In the sidebar.
I don't remember.
I have it up here on my screen if you wanted to look. Yeah,
Oh, here it is.
Facebook,
Yeah,
Twitter.
there it is. Yeah. Oh,
So
God.
let's go through the demo site and we'll pretend.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so let's go through. It would be a new draft of your homepage or edit draft. Since your Twitter button is in the sidebar, it would be easier than what
It's at the bottom too.
Yes, and I'll go over that. But
Okay.
this one in the sidebar, since it's just an image, you would just find it, click on it, and then delete it. My example here will be a bit different because this is HTML code that I'm deleting. But you would just, click on the Twitter image and remove it from the sidebar. And then the other step to remove it from the footer, that is going to be, whoops, I think it's going to be above the sidebar. Here we go, league contact information. So that section is right above the sidebar. Let me actually delete this address because we do not have an office anymore. So under the contact information, then we open up social links for footer, or it's already open. all you have to do is remove the address. So just leave this field blank. As long as it's blank, the Twitter button won't show up.
Okay,
And I should probably.
And where is this?
This is on the home page and specifically under league contact information
Ah,
and
okay.
then social links for footer.
Yeah, 'cause I have them in the sidebar. I think I didn't know how to get rid of them down there.
Yeah, yeah, as long as you leave it blank, because what these fields, the social links for footer, these fields will do is any URL you put, it will show up that icon. So you see how my YouTube link, I technically
Mhm.
don't have a YouTube URL here, but
Mhm.
my button will still come up. Let me go ahead and open it in a new tab. So it will show up a YouTube icon, but it's taking folks to, oh, I think my MyLO URL has a redirect. That's why it's taking us to YouTube. But if I didn't have that redirect in place, then we would be landing on a MyLO page. All that to say that these fields will accept any entry. As long as it's a working URL, it will lead folks to that page.
If it's not a working URL, will it still show the button but not go anywhere or go to a bad place?
Let's see, I do know of a link on one of our sites that does not exist. I think it will just take you to a page not found. Like it will still technically
Oh.
take you through the steps.
Mhm.
Let's see. Wait, which button did I change? Oh, the Twitter. Yeah, so it still technically goes. If I were to put like a gibberish link, I mean, same thing. It's gonna just take us to wherever that would land. If you put something that wasn't a URL, let's see what that does. Like if I accidentally forgot a piece, a very important piece of a URL, I did not put the dot. Oh, okay, well, that's good. Oh, no, just kidding. City and postal required. Oops, not Sacramento. Okay, let's try that again. So kind of a
Mm.
perpetual loading and then error page. So yeah, it will accept any entry put in there. So that is a good point to just give a second check to
Right.
whatever's in there. Let me go
Right.
but
ahead
Anne
and
Maurice, if you didn't have anything in there, what happens if
it
somebody
just does
clicked it?
not show up. It wouldn't be clickable.
Oh, and it wouldn't show up even as an
Correct.
option.
Mm-hmm.
It gets rid of it. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So
And
yeah,
then
let me do
is
that
it
one
easy enough to get the, if we wanted it on the side,
to
kind
add
of,
it back.
yeah, is it just in our media library?
The
or-
image should be in the media library, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And then it would just require you hyperlinking that image again. But I went ahead and removed the Twitter entry. So then it's no
Oh,
longer showing
okay,
up.
thank you. Okay. Hmm.
Any other questions?
Well, we covered a lot and for not
Yeah.
having any questions in the beginning.
Right. Yeah. It always surprises me, and it shouldn't. But whenever I think, oh man, I don't think I have too much, we always come up with something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the good thing.
Always worthwhile.
There we go.
Is the red join button in the media library?
There is a version of it. Yeah. Let's see. I'll just go through. Well, actually, sorry. I'm trying to think of what's the best way to go through and look through it. So I'm going to go through manage files since it's a tiny bit easier to see the images this way. So once I get here, it's showing me my files. We want to see view all files. And so let's narrow it down. I'm pretty sure join is it. I don't know if join button is going to be too much. Yeah. So join is probably going to be the best way, but you'll probably have quite a few entries. So what I often do is zoom out a little bit. Oh, I was quite zoomed in. But yeah, we obviously have quite a few entries with join here.
I thought I saw a button.
Let me see. Actually, I know of a league that's using it, the same league that we just talked about. So what I do, if you ever see an image on MyLO and you say, well, I want to use that, but I don't know how to find it in the media library, what usually can work, at least 90% of the time, if you right click on the image, you can open it in a new tab. And then it tells you the name of the button. It is a little bit hard to find because sometimes it can be quite a long URL like this one. But the clue to, find where that name is, it will always be right before the .png, the .jpeg, the .gif, whatever ending it is. Before that .png, that lets you know, oh, that's the name. So it's always going to be between the final slash and whatever file extension it is. So let's see if this gives us any result. If I search for join_renew, where was I? Under files. So
Can
instead
you
of,
arrange those alphabetically? No.
no, I think,
Okay.
well, actually, let's see, because the details, there we go.
Oh, how did you get it already? Oh, you had typed it. Okay.
Yeah, so that was me, opening up this image in a new tab. Once I open it in a new tab, then I locate the name because it's right before .png.
Yeah.
And then I came back over to files and I just pasted
Yeah.
that in.
Yeah.
And you can even copy the .png. The only times that this will not work is if someone has changed the file name. And that happens. And what I mean by that is the computer, when you upload an image from your computer, the computer assigns this name based on what the file was called in your computer. And this is what is technically attached to an image's URL. So regardless of if a file name gets changed, this will remain the same. So if a file name does get changed and you're trying to search for it by this name, that's when you won't, find the match, unfortunately. But like I said, 90% of the time, we're usually just saving the names as is. And so that could be a quick way to find images that you see and you want to use. But to answer directly your question, Helen, this would be the button you want to look for.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is Mary Jo. I just want to share something quick. So, because I don't know, this happened in Constant Contact, but I don't know if it would ever happen in MyLO. But for some reason, I wasn't able to upload a picture, a graphic, and usually it's because it's too large, and so I wasn't, or maybe that's MyLO. And at any rate, I actually read, why it didn't, and it said that the URL was too long.
Oh, how funny.
So I'm not sure. I guess I just went back to my pictures in my own computer and just, I can only have 80 characters. So I don't know if that ever happens in MyLO, but just thought it was kind of funny.
That is a funny one. I think we're lucky enough to not have to deal with that. But yeah, we do have the file size limit. That's where sometimes it can get tricky. But yeah, I always have, compress PNG, or I'm always Googling compress and then whatever the file extension is. If it's a PDF, if it's a JPEG, whatever it is, I'm always, looking up how to compress that type of file. And there's
Okay.
always going to be free options. I love IMG. I think they also have I love PDF. This is one that I use all the time. But yeah, you can see that I've used compressed PNG before as well. There are quite a few free options, and
Oh.
they'll do, you know, exactly what you need. Sometimes you need it to be compressed quite a bit or not a lot. And I think it does give you some leeway. Although they're free, they're not going to be super customizable. But yeah, it definitely is helpful because our limit is just 2 MB. So sometimes, especially like with PDFs or high quality images, you're kind of stuck.
Thank you. I don't, you probably have told us about this, but, so I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Okay. And what makes it too big? What makes it a graphic too much? Too many words or what,
I think it's usually
what's going
the
on?
pixel count. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it has something to do with the pixel count and just the like complexity of
Yeah,
it
that's what
because
I
it
was thinking. It's too, yeah.
yeah, the compression somehow smooths out the images and it does make things sometimes, well, it obviously is trying to achieve something smaller, so the quality will go down. So that's, I guess, one thing to be wary of. Just double checking the item after the compression to make sure that it's still at least looking to a good standard. It may not be the perfection that it was prior to compressing it, but there's been a time before that I've compressed a PDF. It was like a PDF newsletter, and it did make the images look really bad. And so that
So you
one
couldn't
instance
leave
made
it.
me think, okay, gotta always, check them out before you go ahead and post.
So if I was looking at a picture in my own, on my computer, and I was wondering, is this going to be too large to, upload on MyLO? Is there, if I clicked right, there's all these different pieces of information. Would one of them be information about, yeah,
Yeah, let me show you. So
yeah,
right click on the image and then you want to select properties.
yeah.
And it should tell you right then and there. Yeah, this image would not be able to go on MyLO as is. The size right now is 8.1 MB.
And we can only do two, you said?
Two.
Wow.
The
Wow.
I'm trying to think of the way around it. Technically, it would be uploading it to a different like online whatever. Like if there was a Flickr or something like
Yeah.
that. But then that's defeating the purpose of using the media library.
Huh.
So yeah, let's see, this is a JPEG. So compressed JPEG, it being 8 MB, I'm not sure if it will get down to 2 or below, but let's test it out. And it does, I think, give you an idea of the percentage that was compressed. Yeah, that's pretty good.
75%.
So let's download. And let's take a look at them.
Sometimes click on the picture and edit it and crop it and then save it.
And does that change the size as well?
Yes.
Nice.
Like with this one here, you've got, as you look at the one whole left is just on gray background. You could just, I think it's gray, but anyway, you can just cut that out.
So I wanted to show you. So this is the original. And this is the compressed. Doesn't look
Wow,
too different, right?
doesn't look different at all.
So let's see from my file explorer here. Let's do the same thing, but with a compressed one. Check out the properties. Ah,
0.03.
0.03. But I think Mike, what you suggested, if we do a bit of cropping, that really could do the trick of taking out that 0.03. I've never tried that myself, so that is a great suggestion,
The other
especially
one
when
I
you're on the
try to
cusp
do
like
is
this.
send it to myself, and it asks you if you want full size, medium, or small, or whatever it's called.
When you're
It'll,
Oh, in your
compressing or
email?
when you email it to yourself, it'll tell you, do you want to send the full image or do you want to reduce it?
yes, that is a smart way of getting around it too. So yeah, that is the email compressing it for you. So if you send the image via email, it will ask you, do you want to send it small, medium, large, or original file size? And so that could be a way of selecting the smaller version or whatever's under within 2 or below megabytes. That could be a way of doing it.
Yeah, and it depends also on the app that you use to open your pictures, because some of them haven't built right in. You know,
To
that you
compress
can,
it.
when you can save it as compressed.
Nice.
So if if you open up the picture, off the top of my head, I'm not sure which ones because I've changed my computer around, but like a picture from Microsoft, I think you can just save it as a smaller picture.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't played around too much with the existing programs. I know that with Word, like the Word file can
Right.
be compressed, but I I think I know what you're talking about. Like if you insert images, then it gives you the option within Word as well or something.
Right, but even, whatever, if you click open this picture with an app, a lot of those apps will let you save them smaller.
Okay.
I just can't off the top of my head think of examples, but like I use Snagit and stuff like that. A lot of
Nice.
them and Microsoft.
Oh,
Anyway, I've got to go. So this has been really fun.
thanks,
I'm gonna
Maddie.
say
Yeah,
goodbye.
take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got to leave too. Take care,
Yeah.
everyone.
I
Bye.
think we'll wrap it up. The cropped, we obviously know a few more ways to do it. So
Let me just tell you what it does say on the phone. It says actual size one for this one,
oh,
1.3 MB, and then large is 364 KB, 45.8 KB, and
nice.
25.9 KB.
Yeah, yeah. So that is a nice, especially if you're already going to send the image or file from your phone to your computer or wherever. That is a nice way of compressing at the same time as, you're already getting an essential step done.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.
We'll catch
2
each
weeks?
other in
2
2
weeks?
weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
All righty, folks.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
This
Thank
is
you.
another good session.
Thank you. We'll see each
So-
other next time.
May 30th,
That's right. Yep.
sound right? Okay.
All righty, folks. Bye-bye.